Welcome to Relaxing History. Leave all the noise and the rush of the day outside the door. Now, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and let your mind float through the dusty but fascinating pages of history. Tonight, we embark on a peaceful journey among the shadows of the past. If you are ready, let's unlock time. Chapter 1 of 3, The Wooden World in the Void. This night, we are traveling further back in time than we have ever gone before on this journey. We are leaving the modern world completely behind. We are letting go of the noise of engines and the glow of electric lights. We are going back to a time when the map of the world was half empty. To the year 1492, we find ourselves in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, or as they called it then, the Ocean Sea. We are not near the coast. We are thousands of miles from the known world. Behind us lies Europe and the safety of Spain. Ahead of us lies only mystery. It is October. The air is warm, but it carries the heavy, humid scent of salt and ancient seaweed. It is late at night. The darkness here is absolute. There are no city lights to reflect on the clouds. There are no lighthouses blinking in the distance. There is only the vast, crushing dome of the sky, meeting the black circle of the water. The world has shrunk down to a single wooden island, the flagship, the Santa Maria. She is not a giant vessel. She is a simple, sturdy ship, built of oak and pine. She is alone in the void. If you listen closely, you can hear her speaking. The wood is alive. It expands and contracts with the moisture of the sea. Every timber, every plank has a voice. Listen to the rhythm. Creak as she rolls to the left. Grow on as she rolls to the right. It is a slow, hypnotic rhythm, like a cradle rocking in the dark. The ship is heavy. She sits deep in the water. You can hear the sound of the ocean pressing against the hull. Slosh, shh, slosh. The water rushes past the wood, endless and tireless. On the upper deck, a man is standing. He is the Admiral, Christopher Columbus. He is standing near the stern, by the railing. He is completely still. He is a silhouette against the stars. He is wearing a heavy wool cloak to protect himself from the damp night air. The wool is rough and smells of lanolin and salt. The wind pulls gently at the hem of his cloak. Flap, flap, flap. He looks up. The sky is a masterpiece of diamonds thrown onto black velvet. The stars are brighter here than anywhere else on Earth. Without the haze of land, they burn with a fierce, cold light. The Milky Way is a thick band of white dust, stretching from one horizon to the other. It looks like a celestial river. The Admiral knows these stars. They are his old friends. They are his map. He looks for the North Star, Polaris. It sits there, steady and unmoving, anchoring the spinning heavens. It tells him where he is. It tells him that he is still heading west. Always west. He takes a deep breath. The air tastes of ozone and deep water. It fills his lungs. It is clean air, untouched. He looks down at the water below the railing. The sea is not just black. It is alive with light. As the ship cuts through the waves, it churns up the phosphorescence. Tiny creatures in the water glow when they are disturbed. The wake of the ship is a trail of glowing green fire. It looks as if the Santa Maria is floating on a cloud of liquid light. The foam hisses softly as it breaks. Hiss. SSSS. The ship is moving well tonight. The wind is directly behind them. The trade winds. The vientos alisios. They are steady, constant, and kind. They push the ship forward with a gentle hand. Above the Admiral's head, the great mainsail is full. It is a massive square of canvas. It is pulled tight by the wind. It is hard as stone. You can hear the tension in the ropes. The rigging sings a low note in the breeze. Thrum. It is the song of travel. The Admiral walks slowly across the deck. His boots make a dull thud, thud, on the wooden planks. The wood is damp with dew. It is slippery. He moves with the easy balance of a man who has lived his life at sea. He adjusts his weight with every roll of the ship. He does not even think about it. He walks to the binnacle. This is a wooden box near the helm. Inside, there is a small oil lamp burning. The flame flickers, casting a warm, yellow glow in the blue night. Beside the lamp sits the compass. It is a simple instrument, a magnetic needle floating on a card. The Admiral looks at it. The needle trembles slightly with the vibration of the ship, but it points true, west. He watches it for a long moment. He is checking the course. The helmsman is standing behind the great wooden wheel. He is a silent figure in the shadows. He is half asleep, but his hands know what to do. He turns the wheel slightly. Creak. The ship corrects her path. They nod to each other. No words are spoken. Words are not needed in this vast silence. The Admiral continues his walk. He goes to the waist of the ship, the middle section. Here, it is darker. The shadows of the rigging create a spiderweb pattern on the deck. The moonlight turns the ropes into silver lines. He looks at the main mast. It is a massive tree trunk, brought from the forests of Spain. It rises up and up, disappearing into the darkness above. It creaks under the strain of the sails. It is the spine of the ship. He rests his hand on the wood of the mast. He can feel the vibration of the wind traveling down through the timber. It is a low hum, like a giant cat purring. The ship feels alive under his hand. It is a living creature, carrying them across the void. Most of the crew is asleep. The ship runs on a skeleton crew at night. Down below, on the gun deck, and in the hold, 90 men are sleeping. If you were to go near the hatch, you could hear the sounds of their rest, the soft breathing, the rustle of straw mattresses, the occasional murmur of a dream. They are sleeping in a wooden womb, protected from the infinite ocean by only a few inches of planking. But up here, on the deck, it feels like the Admiral is the only man in the world. He walks to the bow, the very front of the ship, the forecastle. This is the place that meets the future first. He leans over the forward rail. Beneath him, the cutwater slices through the ocean. This is the loudest place on the ship. The water is pushed apart with a rhythmic splash and crash. But it is not a violent sound. It is a washing sound, a cleansing sound. White foam sprays up, catching the starlight. He stares into the horizon ahead. He is looking for a shadow, a shape, a line that is darker than the sky. Land, but there is nothing. Just the endless, flat, empty line where the stars meet the sea. He is not disappointed. He is patient. The ocean is vast, and they are small. He knows that to cross it, one must surrender to time. One must become part of the rhythm. A flying fish leaps from the water near the bow. It glides over the waves for a moment, its silver wings flashing in the moonlight, before it dives back in with a tiny plip. The Admiral smiles. Life is here, even in this emptiness. The night is cooling down. The humidity settles on everything. The railing is wet under his hands. Droplets of water form on his wool cloak. He feels the salt on his lips. He tastes the ocean with every breath. It is a primitive taste, the taste of the beginning of the world. He turns around and looks back the way they came. The wake of the ship stretches out behind them, a straight, glowing road on the surface of the water. It points back to the east, back to the past. But the ship is moving away from it. Every second, every heartbeat, every creak of the wood takes them further into the unknown. The Santa Maria dips her nose into a trough and rises again, down and up, down and up. It is the breathing of the planet. The Admiral closes his eyes for a moment. He lets the motion of the ship rock him. He listens to the wind whistling softly through the ropes. Woo, woo. It is a lonely sound, is less than #0. 5# is greater than, but it is also peaceful. There is no conflict here. There are no kings or queens. There are no debts. There is only the wind, the wood, and the water. He opens his eyes. The moon has moved slightly across the sky. Time is passing, but it feels fluid here. Minutes and hours dissolve into the wash of the waves. He decides to check the hourglass. The passage of time on the ship is measured by sand. He walks back towards the stern. His shadow stretches long and thin across the deck planks. Everything is calm. The world is suspended in this blue and black moment. The ship sails on, a tiny speck of courage and wood, floating in the palm of the great ocean. Chapter 2 of 3, The Map of Faith. The Admiral turns away from the railing. The wind has picked up slightly. It whistles softly through the rigging, a low, mournful note. Ooh. He decides to go inside. He walks across the small deck to his cabin door. It is a heavy oak door, reinforced with thick iron bands. He reaches out and pushes it open. The hinges are old. They are rusty and stiff from the salt air. Creak. The sound is loud in the quiet night. He steps over the high wooden threshold. He steps out of the vast, starry night and into the small, enclosed world of his cabin. He closes the door behind him. Thud. The sound of the wind and the waves is instantly muffled. It becomes a distant hum. He is now inside the belly of the ship. The cabin is tiny. It is not a palace. It is a workspace. It is a monk's cell floating on the ocean. The ceiling is very low. A tall man has to hunch his shoulders to stand here. Heavy wooden beams cross the ceiling, bearing the weight of the deck above. You can see the grain of the wood. You can see the marks of the carpenter's tools from months ago. The air in here is different. It is still. It is warm. It smells of dry wood and beeswax candles. It smells of old paper and ink. It is a comforting smell. The smell of knowledge. The smell of a library. The room is dark, except for a small amount of moonlight filtering through a tiny square window at the back. The Admiral moves to the center of the room. There is a heavy wooden table bolted to the floor. On the table, there is a lantern. He strikes a flint. Click, click. A spark flies. He lights the wick. A soft, yellow glow fills the cabin. The light pushes back the shadows. It reveals the clutter of a man obsessed with a single idea. The cabin is filled with books. They are stacked on shelves with rails to keep them from falling. Leather-bound books. Their covers are worn and scratched. Inside them are the words of Marco Polo and Pierre Dalet. The pages are soft and yellow with age. The lantern swings gently from a hook on the ceiling. Left and right. Left and right. It follows the roll of the ship. The shadows in the room sway with it. It is a hypnotic dance, like a pendulum of a great clock. The Admiral watches the light move across the wood for a moment. It is peaceful. He sits down in his heavy wooden chair. The leather of the seat creaks under him. He leans back. He rests his hands on the armrests. He can feel the vibration of the ship traveling up through the chair. In here, the sounds of the Santa Maria are different. Is less than #0. 5 is greater than. They are deeper, closer. Every plank in the wall groans as the ship twists in the waves. Grr, creak, grr. It sounds like the ship is talking to itself, telling stories of the sea. On the table before him lies a large piece of parchment. It is unrolled and held down by brass weights. It is a map, but it is not a modern map. It is a map of faith. The Admiral leans forward. The yellow light of the lantern illuminates the ink lines. He traces the coastline of Europe with his finger. Spain, Portugal, the Canary Islands. His finger moves west, into the empty space. Most people see emptiness here. They see danger, but the Admiral sees a bridge. He picks up his quill pen. It is a long white feather. He dips it into a small pot of black ink. Dip, He taps the excess ink against the glass. Tap, tap. He opens his logbook, the diario. The paper is thick and rough. He begins to write. The sound of the pen scratching on the paper is loud in the silence. Scritch, scratch, scritch. He writes the date. He writes the position of the stars. He writes the distance they sailed today. We sailed west, he writes. The sea is calm, thanks be to God. The air is soft, like the April air in Seville. He writes calmly. There is no panic in his handwriting. The letters are neat and looped. He is a man of order. He believes in his calculations. He believes that Japan Shipangu is just over the horizon. He imagines the golden temples waiting for him. He imagines the smell of spices, cinnamon, cloves, pepper. He can almost smell them now, mixing with the smell of the beeswax candle. He puts the pen down. He rubs his eyes. They are tired from staring at the horizon all day. He looks at the hourglass on the table. The ampuletta. It is a glass instrument, filled with fine sand. The sand is running out. A thin stream of white grains falling from the top bulb to the bottom bulb. Shh. It is the only thing that changes in this room. Time is slipping away, grain by grain. He reaches out and touches the glass. It is warm. He watches the last few grains fall. Then he turns it over. The sand begins to flow again. A new half-hour begins. It is a cycle, endless and repeating, like the waves outside. He stands up slowly. He needs to stretch his legs. He walks to the small window at the back of the cabin. It is the stern window. He looks out, but he cannot see much. Just the white foam of the ship's wake glowing in the darkness. The water is churning away from the rudder. It looks like white lace on a black dress. He leans his forehead against the cool glass. The glass vibrates against his skin. He feels a deep connection to this ship. He knows every timber. He knows every rope. He feels safe here. This cabin is his castle, his sanctuary. The world outside is huge and indifferent, but in here, everything has a place. Everything has a purpose. He turns back to the room. He looks at his small bed in the corner. It is waiting for him, but not yet. He walks over to a small wooden chest. He opens the lid. Inside, there are dried fruits, figs and raisins. He takes a dried fig. He eats it slowly. It is sweet and chewy. It tastes of the sun of Spain, a memory of the land. He picks up a cup of water from the table. The water is stale. It has been in the barrel for weeks. But to a thirsty sailor, it is precious. He takes a sip. He swallows. He feels the water moving down his throat. He sits back down in the chair. He pulls his heavy wool cloak tighter around his shoulders. The cabin is not cold, but a chill sometimes comes from the dampness. He closes his eyes for a moment, just to listen. Creak goes the wall. Swoosh goes the sea outside. Tick, tick goes the lantern swinging on its hook. is less than #0. 5 hash is greater than. His mind begins to drift. He does not think of the mutinous whispers of the crew. He does not think of the debts he left behind. He thinks only of the blue line on the map, the line he is drawing with his ship. He is sewing the two halves of the world together with a wooden needle. He opens his eyes and looks at the map again. The lantern light flickers. The shadows jump on the walls. For a second, the map looks like it is moving, as if the land he is looking for is reaching out to meet him. He feels a deep sense of peace. He knows he is right. He knows he is on the path. The wind is pushing him there. The current is carrying him there. All he has to do is wait and trust. The sand in the hourglass continues to fall. Silent, steady, inevitable. The Admiral sits in his wooden box, surrounded by the night, floating between the old world and the new. Calm, quiet, ready. Chapter 3 of 3. The Light in the West. The sand in the hourglass has run out once more. The top bulb is empty. The bottom bulb is full. It forms a perfect, small mountain of white grains. Columbus reaches out and turns it over one last time for the night. The sand begins to flow again. A new cycle begins. It is late, the middle of the night. Even the Admiral must rest. If land appears tomorrow, he must be strong. He must be awake to greet it. He stands up from his chair. Creak goes the wood. His knees crack softly. He is stiff from tension and from the dampness of the sea. He stretches his arms. His shadow stretches with him. Climbing up the wooden wall of the cabin, he rubs the back of his neck. It is warm. He walks to the side of the small cabin. Built into the wall is his bed, a bunk. It is not a soft feather bed like he would have in the palaces of Spain. It is a narrow wooden shelf. It is practical. It is a sailor's bed. It has a high wooden board on the side to keep him from rolling out when the ship tilts in the waves. He begins to prepare for sleep. He unclasps his heavy wool cloak. The metal clasp makes a small clink sound. He slides the heavy fabric off his shoulders. He feels an instant relief. The weight is gone. He hangs the cloak on a wooden peg on the door. It hangs there, dark and heavy. It sways gently with the motion of the ship, like a dark ghost guarding the room. He sits on the edge of the bunk. He bends down to take off his boots. The leather is stiff and salt-stained. He pulls one off. Thump. Then the other. Thump. He sets them neatly on the floorboards. He wiggles his toes. The air feels cool on his feet. He climbs into the bunk. The mattress is simple. It is a canvas sack stuffed with fresh straw. He settles down. The straw rustles under him. Crinkle. Rustle. It is a dry, earthly sound. As he moves, the smell of the straw rises up. It smells of dry fields. It smells of sunshine and harvest. It is a memory of land. Right here in the middle of the ocean, he pulls a thick wool blanket over himself. It is rough, but it is warm. He tucks it around his shoulders. He rests his head on the small, hard pillow. He lies on his back. He stares up at the ceiling beams. They are just inches above his face. He takes a deep breath. He lets it out slowly. His body begins to relax. He sinks into the mattress. He lets the ship take his weight. He does not need to balance anymore. The ship holds him. He reaches out his hand to the lantern on the table. It is still swinging gently. Is less than #0. 5# is greater than he turns the small metal key. The flame gets smaller and smaller until it is just a tiny blue dot. And then, poof, it is gone. Darkness floods the room. Absolute, heavy darkness. For a moment, he can see nothing. Then, his eyes adjust. The moonlight from the small stern window becomes visible. It is a pale blue square of light on the floor. It moves back and forth with the waves, sliding across the floorboards, then sliding back. In the dark, the sounds of the ship become louder. The wood speaks more clearly now. Groan, creak, sigh. It is a constant conversation between the timber and the water. It is not a scary sound. It is a comforting sound. It means the ship is strong. It means the ship is fighting the waves for him. He can hear the rudder moving below him. Thud, thud. A dull, underwater sound. He can hear the water rushing past the hull, just inches from his head. Shh. Swish. It sounds like heavy silk being torn slowly. The Admiral closes his eyes. The motion of the ship becomes a cradle, rocking him left and right, up and down. It is a gentle rhythm, older than humanity, the rhythm of the tide. His thoughts begin to slow down. The map in his mind begins to fade. The worries about the crew dissolve into the darkness. He visualizes the prow of the ship cutting through the water. Mile after mile. West. Always west. He feels heavy. His limbs feel like lead. The boundary between his body and the ship begins to blur. He is part of the wood now. He is floating. Outside, the stars are watching. The wind is blowing. The ocean is endless. But inside, it is warm. It is dry. It is safe. He listens to his own breathing. In and out. In and out. It matches the rhythm of the waves. Slowly, the sounds of the creaking wood move further away. The sound of the water becomes a white noise, a soft blanket of sound covering his mind. He is no longer in 1492. He is nowhere. He is just a soul floating in the great silence, drifting, drifting, drifting west to sleep.